Welcome back to the channel everyone. You've joined me for part 2 of my Lake District adventure. This is a few days where I took some of my best photos up in the lakes and of course got caught in the storm. So without further ado, I've got my camera, I've got you guys, let's go. Morning, it's day 2 of the Lake District adventure. Today we're heading up the Old Man of Coniston, which has been one of my favourite mountains ever since I was a child. We're going to be able to get some stunning panoramic views across the valley. The weather's beautiful, I've got you guys, I've got my camera, let's go. The route that I decided to pick was taken straight out of Wainwright's pictorial guide to the mountains. Of course, what I didn't realise, since he published the book, there's been a massive quarry built right in the middle of his preferred route. So eventually I ended up going straight up the side of the mountain. You can see here though, that even with the quarry halfway up, the views are still starting to come out to be something really special. It might not look it, but it was absolutely scorching, so I fully embraced my fell walking look, and I'm not going to lie to you, Beans made this look a lot easier than I did. And the views from the top of the mountain are simply breathtaking, well worth the hour-and-a-half slogging up the mountain, all the sweat, all the gruel and the grime, but it was worth it because here it is. There was one thing I didn't think about though. By picking the hard route, I turned up at the top of the mountain a horrible sweaty mess. And of course, all the holiday makers that had come up the tourist trail were looking sharp by comparison. But, to prove I made it all the way, here is the obligatory selfie. The route back down is the one that is most taken by tourists. But you can see why. I mean, the views are absolutely stunning. I really like this little lake here that caught my eye. What a wonderful spot for a little bit of wild swimming. I really don't think that views like this are anything you could ever get bored with. The other site that I was really keen to see were the old slate quarries halfway down the mountain. These quarries were used for over 200 years. As photographers, these give us great choices to play with lighting, as well as the outstanding views. The shot I've grabbed here is simply just of the slate that's been used to build these little houses, and I find there's something quite charming about it. Of course, no photo trip here would be complete without grabbing a shot showing the quarry in the situation of the mountains. It really gives the whole place a real sense of gravitas. Morning guys, it is day 3 of the Lake District's adventure. I don't know if you can hear it, but the Lake District has done exactly what the Lake District is famous for, and is absolutely lashing down with rain right now. That is going to put a bit of a stop to the hiking and the nature photographies, but that's actually okay. What I'm going to do, me and Beans are going to go for a bit of a drive, see some of the scenery that way, so it'll still be a good day, and we'll take you with us. See you soon. Even though the rain was absolutely lashing down, Beans and I decided to make the most of it, so we jumped in the car and we headed out to Blea Tarn, hoping the weather might just go in our favour. And luckily, it paid off. Blea Tarn is a beautiful location that's well worth visiting. It's totally off the tourist trail, so you almost have the place to yourself. This site has been used in ancient times, with even Viking remains being found here. What a perfect location they picked for their camp. Here we are at Blea Tarn. This is my first stop on my rainy Lake District day. You can see the weather's actually improved quite a lot. It's actually due to dry up this afternoon, but what we're going to be trying to do is capture these mountains in the background along with some ripples of the water, really capturing that movement of the water. It's going to be a great shot, I'm pretty sure, because the scenery here is absolutely stunning. So let's give it a go and see how it goes. There you go, that's the shot. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. I think it's turned out really well. The great thing about the beauty of the landscape around here is you're so spoilt for choice. And I think this place is a perfect example of that, because there's almost nobody here. It's absolutely quiet, the car park was empty, and if you compare that to some of the lakes like Windermere or Coniston, you get a lot more people there, and that can be quite tricky if you're trying to get those natural beauty shots, because you'll find there's a lot of people in your frame. But down here, and somewhere a little bit more remote, you don't have that problem. I really like the way the light keeps changing here, and I want to see if I can capture the light reflecting off the ripples in the water. This is probably a good time to talk a little bit about why this trip's so special to me, and that's because the Lake District is somewhere that's always been a special place in my heart. We used to come here a lot as a holiday location when I was at school. In fact, pretty much any of the half-term holidays we're up in the Lake Districts hiking and being out on the water with windsurfers or sailing boats. So it's somewhere that's always been really special to me. It's one of those places I always feel a little bit like I'm coming home whenever I come here. So hopefully what we capture in the next couple of days is going to allow me to show you a little bit of that, and you'll love it as much as I do. Everywhere you turn in the Lake Districts is a real treat, and I just have to grab a shot of this mountain here. Sometimes the best shots come when you least expected it, and just wandering down the track I found this amazingly cute little bridge with a fresh stream running underneath it, so I couldn't help myself but grab a camera. Sometimes following beams is the best way to find that shot. Every single view that you find here is truly special, and I couldn't help but be drawn to this wild heather growing out of a crag in the rocks. Another hidden gem of Blea Tarn that I just stumbled across by mistake are these waterfalls. The Lake District is known for stunning waterfalls, and I couldn't help but grab a shot here. A long exposure shot here is really going to show the movement of the water, and I think it'll give us something quite special. Luckily, despite the forecast, the weather turned out to be absolutely brilliant today, and here's a shot from Bertie showing how wonderful this landscape really is. After that, we were back in the car and heading up the Hardknott Pass. This is a notorious drive in the Lake Districts, and not every car's going to make it. Luckily, we did, and the reason I came up here was to explore this old Roman fort. The Hardknott Fort might be one of the most remote forts I've ever been to built by the Romans. Just imagine having to carry each and every one of these stones up here from the valley to build this fort. Even getting in a cheeky bottle of wine would have been a real challenge. Of course, the reason we're here is for the view, and how better to set off this amazing view of the hills than using the Roman fort to give the shot that little bit of context. One of the things I'm really conscious to do when shooting landscape photography is to try and find a central focus to that shot. It's all very well and good having beautiful rolling hills, but I find without having a subject to give that shot context, it's never quite the same, and in this case the Roman fort works perfectly. Little did I know that that was going to be the last photo I got on this trip, and here's why. Morning, welcome to day 4 of the Lake District adventure. There's a storm warning in place at the moment, and it is absolutely thrashing down. I don't think I've seen it this wet in years, so that's going to put a bit of a finish on the outdoor photography today in the Lake Districts. What I've decided to do, I'm going to try and escape the storm, so I'm going to bolt down to the Cotswolds, see if we can catch some great stuff there. So yeah, wish me luck, here we go. I really wish I had managed to get some video of me taking down this tent in the storm, but I'm pretty sure this photo tells you everything you need to know. And that's it for my trip to the Lake Districts. Fleeing the storm, I'm heading south to the Cotswolds. Even though the weather wasn't necessarily everything that I dreamed, I still got some amazing shots, and those photographs taken in Blea Tarn are definitely my favourite shots of the trip. If you haven't seen part 1, please check out the link in the description. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, it really helps, or add a comment. In my next vlog, I'll take you to Chipping Camden, the wonderful Cotswold village that I managed to get to escape the storm. As always guys, keep taking those photos, and I'll see you again.